tenses. There are things that English has that, simply put, Cantonese and Chinese does not. And tenses is one of those things. Now, surprisingly, there is an area of tenses that are very well looked after in Hong Kong. And that would be irregular tenses. The kids memorize them, they get them down really well. And I have, in most cases, I'm really surprised. Now, do they understand where to use them? So-so. Now, regular tenses, that's a problem. As I mentioned before, the da and ta sound is often mixed up. And there is a rhyme and a reason for the ones we use. And I have implemented a game to try and help them work it out. And ironically, no kid has ever finished it. They've never beaten the board. So what I'm trying to do is teach them as many verbs as possible. So a lot of these words they don't know. The irregular ones they've memorized. And again, as I said, they don't always know them, but they've worked out regular and irregular. So what happens here is, with the regular ones, we're adding ed, but they don't know how to pronounce them. And so it gets quite confused and botched up. And with my system, I show them exactly what is going to be the da and the ta and the in. And we're usually looking at about a 20% hit ratio is correct to start off with. And once they see it, it goes in there. But this is not about writing and just, a boring exercise of some words. We're teaching the principles and the logic. One thing I really stress to the kids is we have in English rules and exceptions. In Cantonese and Putonghua, you're looking at a case of memorization and following what's there. In English, the rule is, like, for instance, I will tell them, your bedtime is 9 o'clock every day of the week. But on the weekends, you're allowed to stay to bed up till 10. That is the exception. And so you teach them this, and you try and help them understand the rules of what's going on. And so once they understand this, they start seeing the commonality of how English works. And that helps them establish how it is. It's not just boom, boom, boom. It's not just over here. There is a reason for why things happen. And the more we do that, the better it is. So for instance, a lot of the phonics, there's rules, especially if we get it more complex, like ow. I was just working with some kids today on ow. Even though they're in primary 4, this should have been learned a long time ago, but they still need work on it. And when you look at ow and we make it with OW, then we're looking at certain words that it ends in N or an L, but not with OW. And so what happens here is we have many of this, like clown and town. And so we can teach them that it's not O-U-N, it's O-W-N. And so rather than trying to get them to memorize those components, we're trying to show, look, if it has an N or an L, it's likely, because not always, there's always the exception, it's likely to be O-W in the word. All right, so rules and exceptions, they're everywhere. And that is something I try and point out. And by diving deep into vocabulary and showing them lots of options, they can see how it works. When you only give a child 3 words or 4 words total, of a phonic sound, it's going to leave them high and dry. It's going to leave them a lot of problems.